Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Star Citizen Alpha 3.22 is the end of year patch for Star Citizen's persistent universe, and it's had some new features added on the roadmap. They confirmed that the player hair update is definitely going to be in that 3.22 initial live patch. At least that's what the plan is. Obviously, stuff could go wrong, but it's very likely to appear here. This is updating the Star Citizen character customizer with 20 new hairstyles from Squadron 42, including long hair, tied hair, and updates to existing short hairstyles. This is being added to the customizer, not the new character customizer that was demoed at CitizenCon, although we will have some of those hairstyles that were shown there. There are a load of new features that are turning up in this patch as well that Cloud Imperium have just announced. New derelict settlements, so settlements with both gameplay and social elements spread throughout the Stanton wilderness that has been deployed with the Rastar tool. So this is a load of new types of settlement and outposts around primarily Microtech and Hurston. You'll see lots of villages, settlements, and towns that are in forests or on plateaus. On Hurston, they've showed some more abandoned, rusted oil platforms in the water. These are going to be used for a mixture of missions. Go here, clear the enemies out. Some of them might be owned by pirates or whatever. There may be collect boxes and move them between locations. You might see some missions that you can do primarily just on the ground on the same planet. And you'll see some of these settlements on moons as well. But obviously you're not going to see them on ArcCorp because that is a city planet. And you're not going to see them on Crusader because Crusader's a glass giant. Although we could start to see more and more missions use the platforms, the floating platforms there. So expect a load of new missions attached to those new derelict settlements in 3.22. There's also a ton of Arena Commander updates. There's a new map, Bloodshot Ridge. One of Stanton's new derelict settlements joins Arena Commander for all FPS modes and all flight modes, excluding Classic Race and Pirate Swarm. Another new map, Maker's Point, a rough and stormy settlement on Hurston. Maker's Point will be available for all FPS modes in Arena Commander. The most exciting thing for 3.22 for me is the Arena Commander Multicrew and spawn locations that they now have confirmed is planned to be with this. So they are updating all maps to utilize a new spawn location system for spawn selection. This update also enables the long-awaited introduction of Multicrew to Squadron Battle, Pirate Swarm, Vandal Swarm, Team Tank Battle, and Free Flight. You can take on Vandal Swarm or Pirate Swarm with a constellation crewed by your friends, or a hammerhead crewed by your friends, things like that. You can have team battles with fleets of ships with multi-crew personnel on. Now, interestingly, at this stage, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to leave the seat that we spawn in. So obviously you might be able to select and choose a different spawn seat when you respawn or whatever, but are you going to be able to get up out of your seat in Vandal Swarm and run around your ship? As I don't know. This is going to have me playing Arena Commander a load more, potentially in the short and medium term, more than I would play Star Citizen's persistent universe, because you'll be able to jump in and just get into the action straight away if you want to do some form of combat, or you want to do some sort of challenge or Infinite Wave Pirate Swarm or Vandal Swarm or something like that. We'll have to see what experimental modes are available when 3.22 is out. Now, Alpha 3.22 does have some other confirmed features that they're planning to put in there, and it's just obviously the ones we discussed were newly added or newly confirmed. There's structural salvage, so the ability to transform large chunks of metal salvaged from ships into a refinable material. This will use the grinder systems aboard salvage ships like the Vulture and Reclaimer. So this is the different type of salvage that those two ships will be able to do, making money from literally crunching up the remainder of a ship after you've removed the hull and you've taken out the components. You can then go, well, there's a load of other scrap there that you can now crunch down and make a load of profit from. Inventory cargo containers is another thing here, allowing players to store items and smaller cargo containers in larger cargo containers. You can put pretty much anything you want in them, is the idea, and then access them on your ship or in your hangar, wherever they are. Maybe you've got them in your backpack, but you can also have them in your cargo hold, so you can have a range of cargo there, and potentially you'll be able to sell stuff straight out of those containers based on what they are, though they haven't confirmed that for this release yet. Ships and vehicles wise, we've got the Aopoa Santok Yai, that medium Xi'an fighter, actually quite looking forward to it. Not a massive fan of a lot of the alien ships, but I've been waiting for this one for a while, and hopefully they're going to start to go, look, we're building the core flight mechanics, finishing them off now, and with the Santok Yai, this is a different type of flight, sort of more strafey, and they'll be working on that at the same time or just after they finish these sort of like flight mechanics and got them refined. So really looking forward to seeing how they actually differ from the rest of the more rear-driven ships. Also got the X1 hoverbike series being released here, at least that's the plan, with the base version, the Velocity and Force hoverbikes. Their Origin luxury hoverbikes would probably be pretty cool. They're quite small, but probably relatively good at racing. I like the look of them. There were some questions that Cloud Imperium answered and that were asked by various community members. Will there be a progress tracker update before the end of the year? Because it's looking a bit anemic. A lot of the progress tracker stuff appears to have not been updated for a little while, or it's not showing past December time. CIG responded, potentially yes, although we're undergoing a bit of a shuffle at the moment due to Squadron 42 moving into polishing and resources moving around. We don't want to put an update out and then change it one published later and give you all whiplash. So we do know that a load of developers are coming off Squadron 42 now, that it's in its feature complete step and in polishing. Does mean that we're going to see a lot more sort of resources available for Star Citizen's Persistent Universe going forward, and that a lot of the core of Squadron 42 and therefore Star Citizen's core gameplay is now complete, a lot of it, and they're going to be bringing that into the Persistent Universe. So very excited for that. We should see a lot of updates, I suppose, from January onwards, but potentially before the end of the year we'll see something. Is the replication layer still planned to be tested during the 3.21.1 cycle? Because obviously it's appearing in that column on the roadmap. Cloud Imperium responded, we added this card to the roadmap in the 3.21.x cycle, not specifically for 3.21.1. Keep an eye out for testing of this on the preview channel very soon. So it does sound like potentially the replication layer will be tested maybe at the same time as the Pyro playtests, because we know that there's going to be more Pyro playtests before the end of the year. They could obviously do it in two sort of sets. They could be testing the replication layer in Stanton, testing the replication layer in Pyro. Both, who knows? They're going to be testing both of those things before the end of the year, it seems. And with Alpha 3.22, you can expect more features to get added to that before it goes live as well. I'm hoping that we see persistent hangars and the cargo freight elevators that will enable us to manage our cargo and what's at each individual landing zone a lot better. We'll be able to spawn vehicles and literally drive them into our ships in our hangar. I am expecting to see even more updates with Arena Commander, tons of new missions, lots more fixes to the tractor beam stuff, because obviously ship scale tractor beams are going to cause a lot of chaos, in my opinion, during the live build of 3.21.1, and hopefully will be fixed in 3.22. That's just an observation from the PTU. Engineering and resource management is potentially going to be tested in an experimental mode. We saw the demo of this at CitizenCon, running around, fixing broken systems, putting out fires, being able to target systems individually, trying to take them out. The engineering consoles being able to see the sort of health and networks between all the components, potentially being able to open doors and vent areas. It's all very, very cool, but we don't know exactly what we're getting with that 3.22 build beyond what they've already said. I'm just hoping that we see those persistent hangars, cargo elevators, and sort of the resource management system being tested. Boom! That's it for your Star Citizen updates, this time for Alpha 3.22. I am interested to know, are you excited by anything in particular there? Are you raring to take a look at those new derelict settlements around the verse? Are you hoping that you can actually customize your character in a better way now? And I'm assuming that those character customizations will also be applied to NPCs as well, so you will actually see a huge amount of variety. Just the long hairstyles, they're going to make a lot of difference in my opinion. Are you a salvager and are looking forward to structural salvage, and do you think it's going to make all the difference to the game? What about the Santok Yai or the X1 series of hoverbikes? Are you excited to see them? Are you looking forward to testing out more Pyro Playground when they sort of update it, or the replication layer? You're looking forward to that sort of next step towards server meshing? Do you think we're going to see those additions of persistent hangars, cargo elevators, or engineering and resource management being tested as an experimental mode in 3.22? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is best in life? To crush your enemies? To see them driven before you? And to hear the lamentations of their women? No, of course not. It's NordVPN. I never saw Conan the Barbarian checking his bank balance and then watching some cool shows on Netflix, all while protecting his privacy and being super secure. To be honest, I can't even remember Conan wearing a shirt. Silly Conan. And now, a big old snake god's got your internet history. Good job. Don't be a Conan the Barbarian. Check out NordVPN. Links below for powerful discounts too. Every month we've been giving away a ship for Star Citizen, but for November, to celebrate the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2953, we are giving away a load of different ships, each to a different person. The Avenger Titan, the Drake Cutter, the C-8X Pisces, the Mustang Alpha, and the Nomad. All great starter ships, but also useful for any fleet. They all come with a game package and lifetime insurance. That's all you need to start playing Star Citizen. That's 5 prizes and 5 chances to win. Just comment on any of my videos made during November to be in for a chance of winning. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile in supporting the channel via Patreon or the join button under my videos and then becoming a channel member. Please consider joining those fabulous people as well. It allows us to make daily content for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, delving into all the news, drama, development info, and gameplay that these games have to offer. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.